Welcome to ReadFlow Audiobooks, your daily source of motivation, growth, and powerful ideas that move you closer to your best self. In this series, we'll explore 10 simple yet life-changing habits you can practice every single day. These are the habits that sharpen your mind, strengthen your discipline, and set you on a path of transformation. Whether you're chasing success, inner peace, or a stronger mindset, these daily practices will help you level up one step at a time. So get comfortable, stay focused, and let's dive into the first habit that can reshape your life. Chapter 1: The Habit of Morning Mastery. Every great transformation begins at the start of the day. The way you approach your mornings often sets the tone for everything that follows. If your mornings are rushed, distracted, or filled with stress, the rest of your day often carries that same chaotic energy. But if your mornings are intentional, calm and focused, you step into the world with clarity, direction, and strength. Morning mastery is not about being rigid or turning yourself into a machine. It's about designing a powerful routine that prepares your mind, body, and spirit for the challenges and opportunities ahead. This is the first daily habit you must work on, not because it is the only one that matters, but because it influences everything else. Think of it this way: mornings are the foundation of your personal growth. If you want to build a strong house, you begin with the foundation. If you want to build a strong life, you begin with the morning. Why mornings matter more than you think. Science, philosophy, and success stories from countless high achievers all point to one truth: the early hours of the day are your most precious and powerful. Biologically, your brain is refreshed after sleep. Neurochemicals like dopamine and serotonin are at healthier levels, making you more creative and motivated. Cortisol, your natural wake-up hormone, is higher in the morning, giving you energy to start strong if you use it wisely. Psychologically, mornings represent a reset. No matter how difficult yesterday was, each sunrise brings a chance to begin again. This symbolism, whether or not you're aware of it, fuels your subconscious with a sense of renewal. Practically, mornings are often the least interrupted part of your day. Before emails flood in, before people demand your attention, and before distractions multiply, you have a window of focus that belongs to you alone. When you win the morning, you win the day. When you lose the morning, the day often feels like an uphill climb. The power of intention. One of the biggest mistakes people make is drifting through their mornings without intention. They wake up late, scroll through their phones, rush through breakfast, and stumble into the day already behind. Compare this to someone who wakes up with clarity. They know the first actions they will take. They move through their morning like a commander preparing for battle, not in a stressful way, but with calm authority. This is the difference between living reactively and living proactively. Morning mastery is not about copying someone else's routine exactly. It's about designing one that works for you. However, there are universal principles you can use. Build a routine that strengthens your mind and body every day. The goal is not to imitate others, but to create margin in your morning. That means waking up earlier than you need to so you have time to prepare yourself before the world pulls you in. Even an extra 30-60 minutes can change everything. Imagine starting your day with calm preparation instead of panic. You would move into your responsibilities not as a servant of time, but as its master. If you struggle with waking up earlier, start small. Move your bedtime earlier by just 15 minutes. Set your alarm earlier by the same margin. Over time, your body will adjust, and what once felt impossible will become natural. Step 2: hydrate and move. The very first action you should take upon waking is to drink water. Your body has gone 6 to 8 hours without hydration. A glass of water in the morning reawakens your system, kickstarts your metabolism, and energizes your cells. Right after hydration, move your body. It doesn't need to be a full workout at first. Stretching, yoga, or even a short walk can work. Movement pumps oxygen into your bloodstream, wakes up your muscles, and tells your brain the day has begun and I am ready for it. This small ritual creates a ripple effect of energy that sustains you throughout the day. Step 3: guard your mind. Perhaps the most dangerous morning habit in today's world is reaching for your phone immediately. The moment you check messages or social media, your mind is flooded with information, demands, and distraction. You've handed over control of your morning to the digital world before you've even grounded yourself. Instead, guard your mind. Before you allow anyone else's voice into your head, feed your own. Read something uplifting, write in a journal, sit quietly in reflection or prayer, listen to calming or motivational audio. These practices nourish your inner strength and give you clarity before the noise of the day begins. If you win the battle for your attention in the morning, you are far more likely to remain focused throughout the day. Step 4. Set clear intentions. Don't just drift into your day. Decide in the morning what matters most. Take 5 minutes to write down your top 3 priorities, not 10, not 20, just 3. This forces clarity. When you know what truly matters, you spend your energy wisely. When you don't, you scatter it everywhere. Morning intention setting gives you direction and prevents overwhelm. Think of it as creating a map before the journey begins. Without it, you wander. With it, you march forward with purpose. Step 5. Practice gratitude and visualization. Your mindset shapes your reality. By beginning your day with gratitude, you shift your attention from lack to abundance. Write down or simply reflect on 3 things you are thankful for. These don't need to be huge achievements. Sometimes it's as simple as health, family, or the opportunity to begin again today. Then visualize the day ahead. Picture yourself moving through challenges with calm confidence. See yourself achieving your goal. Athletes do this before games, performers before shows, and high achievers before meetings. Why? Because the mind rehearses reality. When you visualize success, you prime your brain to act in ways that create the ripple effect of morning mastery. Version B wakes up early, hydrates, moves their body, reflects in peace, sets intentions, and enters the day with calm focus. Both versions are you, depending on the habit you choose. Over time, these choices compound. Version A becomes stressed, reactive, and burned out. Version B becomes disciplined, resilient, and successful. This is why morning mastery is the first habit in this audiobook. It is the habit that unlocks all the others. Without it, discipline is harder, focus is weaker, and consistency fades. With it, everything else flows more naturally. Practical tips for building your morning routine. Prepare the night before. Lay out your clothes, set your water bottle by your bed, and write down your 3 priorities. Preparation eliminates excuses. Start small. If your mornings are chaotic now, don't try to overhaul everything at once. Add 1 habit at a time until it feels natural. Make it enjoyable. Choose rituals you look forward to. If meditation feels forced, start with journaling. If workouts feel heavy, start with stretching. Build up gradually. Track your progress. Use a simple habit tracker or notebook. Seeing your streak build gives you motivation to continue. Protect your sleep. Morning mastery begins with evening discipline. A late night habit of scrolling or snacking will sabotage your morning. A final thought on Chapter 1. Your morning is the opening act of your life's performance each day. Treat it with care. Build it with intention. Protect it as if it were sacred, because it is. The world will always compete for your attention, but your mornings belong to you. Use them to strengthen your mind, sharpen your focus, and align your actions with your goals. This first habit, morning mastery, may seem simple, but simplicity is the foundation of greatness. Master your mornings, and you will discover that transformation is not something you wait for, it is something you create, day after day.
Chapter 2. The discipline of focused learning. If mornings give you the foundation, learning is the structure you build upon it. Every single day presents you with a choice. Either remain the same or grow a little wiser, sharper, and more capable than yesterday. This second habit, focused learning, is the daily commitment to feeding your mind with knowledge, insight, and ideas that shape your future. Growth is not an accident. It is the outcome of intentional learning. Success leaves clues. Wisdom is always within reach, and transformation begins when you decide that no day will pass without expanding your mind. In a rapidly changing world, skills become outdated, industries transform, and opportunities shift. Those who stop learning become stuck, while those who keep learning continue to rise. History is filled with stories of men and women who stumbled upon a single piece of wisdom that altered their destiny. But these discoveries rarely happen by chance. They happen because these people positioned themselves in the flow of knowledge daily. When you commit to learning every day, you keep your mind fresh, adaptable, and resilient. You not only accumulate information but also refine your perspective, sharpen your judgment, and prepare yourself for challenges you cannot yet see. The difference between passive and focused learning. Most people consume information passively, They scroll through endless videos, articles and posts, believing they are learning. But this kind of passive consumption is shallow. It rarely transforms behavior or deepens wisdom. Focused learning, however, is deliberate. It's when you sit down with a book, a lecture, or a course with the intent to absorb, reflect, and apply. It is structured, not scattered. It is intentional, not accidental. Passive consumption leaves you entertained. Focused learning leaves you transformed. Imagine reading for half an hour daily. That's roughly 1 book per week, or 50 books per year. Multiply that by 10 years, and you'll have consumed over 500 books. That's a personal library of wisdom that can shape a lifetime of decisions. Set aside a specific time each day for learning. For some, mornings are best, when the mind is fresh. For others, evenings offer quiet reflection. The timing matters less than the consistency. Treat this time as sacred, an appointment with your future self. The internet is overflowing with voices, but not all of them lead you toward truth, wisdom, or growth. Be selective with your sources. Audiobooks and podcasts bring flexibility, allowing you to learn while driving, exercising, or cooking. Courses and mentors provide structured, practical lessons that shorten your learning curve. Don't just consume whatever comes your way. Curate your learning. Align it with your goal. If you're building discipline, read about self-mastery. If you're building wealth, study finance and entrepreneurship. If you're nurturing relationships, study communication and emotional intelligence. Step 3. Reflect and apply immediately. Knowledge without action is wasted potential. The difference between the wise and the merely informed is the ability to apply what they learn. Each time you learn something new, ask yourself 3 questions. What one small action can I take today to use this idea? Even if you only apply one concept each week, over the course of a year, you will have integrated 50 new practices into your life. Imagine the compounded effect of that transformation. Step 4. Keep a learning journal. One of the best ways to make learning stick is to write it down. Keep a journal where you record the key lessons, insights, and reflections from your daily learning. Writing forces clarity. What you cannot explain in simple words you do not truly understand. Over time, this journal becomes a personal treasury of wisdom you can revisit whenever you need inspiration or guidance. When you explain a concept to someone else, you deepen your understanding. Teaching forces you to organize your thoughts, simplify ideas, and make them practical. You don't need to be a professional teacher with a friend. Write a blog post, or simply talk about what you're learning with your family. By teaching, you strengthen not only your knowledge, but also your ability to influence others positively. The compounding effect of daily learning. Think of learning as planting seeds. Each day you add one more seed to the garden of your mind. At first, it looks small and unimpressive, but as days turn into months, and months into years, the garden flourishes, ideas cross-pollinate, insights emerge, and your perspective expands. Meanwhile, those who do not plant seeds, those who stop learning, find themselves with barren soil. Their thinking becomes rigid, their skills outdated, and their opportunities limited. Daily learning is not just about survival, it is about thriving. It ensures that as the world evolves, you evolve with it. Before you open social media, ask, could I use this time to learn something valuable instead? Pair learning with existing habits. Listen to podcasts while exercising. Read for 15 minutes with your morning coffee or study before bed. Set learning goals. Decide to read a certain number of books each year, finish a course each month, or master one specific skill. Surround yourself with learners. Join groups, forums, or circles where growth is valued. The energy of other learners will fuel your own commitment. A story to remember. There's a story of a man who, at the age of 40, felt stuck in his career. He made a decision. He would read one book every week on leadership, communication, and business. 10 years later, he wasn't just successful in his field. He had become an international consultant, advising leaders and organizations worldwide. When asked how he transformed his life, his answer was simple: one book at a time, one idea at a time, one day at a time. This is the power of focused daily learning. It doesn't just change what you know, it changes who you are. It is the antidote to stagnation and the fuel for transformation. Every page you read, every lecture you listen to, every note you take is a brick laid in the construction of your future self. So let today be the day you decide that learning is not optional. It is essential. Build it into your daily rhythm, guard it with discipline, and treat it as a sacred practice, because when you commit to learning every single day, you are not just gathering knowledge, you are building the wisdom, character, and vision that will transform your life. Chapter 3. The practice of physical vitality. Your body is the engine that carries you through life. Without health, energy, and strength, even the greatest ambitions become difficult to achieve. You can have the sharpest mind and the strongest will, but if your body is drained, sick, or neglected, progress slows to a crawl. This is why the third daily habit is the practice of physical vitality, the consistent, intentional care of your body, so that it becomes an ally in your transformation, not an obstacle. Physical vitality is not about vanity or chasing unrealistic ideals. It's about energy. It's about giving yourself the stamina to pursue your goals with intensity. It's about having the strength to show up every day with focus, drive, and resilience. When your body feels strong, your mind becomes sharper. When your body is weak or neglected, your thoughts grow heavy, your motivation slips, and even small tasks feel overwhelming. Science confirms what ancient wisdom has always taught: movement, nutrition, and rest fuel not just your body, but your emotions, focus, and creativity. Exercise increases endorphins, the feel-good chemical. Proper nutrition balances hormones, stabilizes mood, and sharpens mental clarity. Quality sleep resets your brain, consolidates memory, and restores emotional stability. The mind and body are not two separate systems, they are one. To transform your life, you must take care of both. Step 1. Move every day. Movement is life, yet modern lifestyles have chained us to desks, screens, and cars. Many people go entire days without meaningful physical activity. Over time, this lack of movement drains energy, weakens muscles, and shortens life expectancy. The solution is simple: move your body every day. This doesn't mean running marathons or spending hours in the gym. It means committing to at least 20-30 minutes of intentional movement daily. That movement could be. When movement becomes a daily ritual, it no longer feels like a chore. It becomes as natural as brushing your teeth. Step 2. Nourish. Don't just eat. Food is not just fuel, it is information. Every bite you take sends signals to your body about how to function. Eat processed, sugar-loaded foods and your body responds with fatigue, cravings, and inflammation. Eat nutrient-dense, balanced meals and your body rewards you with energy, focus, and vitality. Daily practice means making conscious choices about what you put on your plate. Here are some guiding principles. Limit processed sugar. Sugar spikes energy temporarily, then crashes it, leaving you drained and craving more. Practice moderation, not perfection. You don't need to follow rigid diets or extreme restrictions. Instead, aim for balance, most of your meals nourishing, with occasional treats guilt-free. The goal is not to eat less, but to eat right. Food is energy, make it work for you, not against you. Step 3. Rest and recover. In a world that glorifies hustle, many people treat rest as weakness. They push their bodies endlessly, thinking more hours equal more success. But exhaustion is not achievement. Burnout is not strength. True vitality comes from cycles of effort and recovery. Sleep is not a luxury, it is a necessity. When you sleep, your brain consolidates memory, your muscles repair, and your immune system strengthens. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. Protect your evenings by reducing screen time before bed, keeping your room cool and dark, and building a calming bedtime routine. Think of rest as recharging a battery. You wouldn't expect your phone to run forever without recharging. Why expect your body to? Step 4. Build small daily rituals of health. Health is built not from occasional effort, but from daily practice. Here are small rituals that, when done consistently, transform your energy. Morning hydration. Start the day with water before coffee. Daily walks. Even 10 minutes after meals improves digestion and blood sugar levels. Micro breaks. Stand, stretch or move every hour if you sit often. Breathing exercises. Deep, intentional breathing reduces stress and oxygenates your body. Mindful meals. Eat slowly, without screens, noticing taste and texture. Each of these rituals seems small but compounded daily, they build extraordinary vitality. The energy advantage. Imagine two versions of yourself again. Version A wakes up sluggish, eats processed food, skips exercise, sleeps poorly, and struggles through the day with caffeine and willpower. Version B wakes up energized, drinks water, moves daily, fuels their body with nourishing food, and sleeps deeply at night. Which version achieves more, smiles more, creates more, and inspires more? Energy is the invisible advantage. With it you move through life with ease. Without it, even small challenges feel like mountains. This is why the discipline of physical vitality is non-negotiable. You cannot transform your life while dragging a tired, neglected body with you. Choose physical activities you love. If you hate running, don't run. If you love dancing, dance. Consistency is built on joy. Start small. Begin with 10 minutes of movement, one healthy meal swap or sleeping 30 minutes earlier. Let small wins build momentum. Stack habit. Attach new health habits to existing ones. For example, drink water every time you brush your teeth. Track your progress. Use an app or notebook. Progress you can see motivates you to continue. Focus on energy, not just appearance. Chasing aesthetics alone often leads to frustration, but focusing on energy keeps you motivated. A story of transformation. There was once a busy entrepreneur who neglected his health for years. Late nights, fast food and endless stress became his lifestyle. Eventually, his body began to break down. Fatigue, sickness and depression set in. Desperate, he made a simple decision: 20 minutes of exercise, daily hydration, and earlier sleep. At first the changes felt small, but within weeks his energy returned. Within months his confidence soared. Within a year, he had rebuilt his body, grown his business, and more importantly, restored his joy. The lesson is clear. Vitality is built one choice at a time. You don't need to overhaul everything overnight. You just need to begin. A final thought on Chapter 3. Your body is not separate from your dreams. It is the vessel that carries them. Treat it well and it will reward you with years of energy, resilience, and strength. Neglect it, and even the brightest ambitions will feel heavy. The practice of physical vitality is not about chasing perfection. It is about creating daily rituals that nourish you, strengthen you, and prepare you for life's challenges. And when you have possibilities, transformation becomes inevitable. Chapter 4. The Art of Emotional Regulation. Physical vitality gives you energy, but emotional mastery gives you direction. Your body may be strong, your mind sharp and your goals clear. Yet if your emotions are non-you, every victory can be undone in a single reactive moment. A careless outburst can damage relationships. An unchecked fear can stop progress before it begins. A wave of discouragement can convince you to abandon a dream you've worked on for years. This is why the fourth daily habit is the art of emotional regulation, the disciplined practice of understanding, guiding, and expressing your emotions in ways that serve, not sabotage your life. Why emotional control is power. People often confuse emotional control with suppression. They imagine a cold, unfeeling existence. But regulation is not about denying emotions. It is about directing them. Emotions are powerful signals. Anger tells you a boundary has been crossed. Fear warns of potential danger. Joy highlights alignment with your values. When regulated, emotions inform wise decisions. When unregulated, they become storms that drown reason. Think of emotions as the weather inside you. You cannot prevent rain or sun, but you can prepare, dress appropriately, and decide whether to carry an umbrella or dance in the downpour. Emotional regulation is the ability to respond with intention rather than react on impulse. Step 1. Name what you feel. Awareness is the gateway to control. Many people say they feel bad, stressed, or angry, but these are vague labels. Precision matters. Are you irritated, resentful, disappointed, anxious, or simply tired. Each requires a different response. Psychologists call this emotional granularity, the ability to identify subtle differences between emotions. Research shows that people who can label their feelings accurately recover from negative moods faster and make clearer decisions. Practice by checking in with yourself several times a day. Pause and ask, what exactly am I feeling? Where do I sense it in my body? Write it down if possible. Naming emotions reduces their intensity and gives you a handle to work with. Step 2. Breathe before you act. The gap between stimulus and response is where freedom lives. When a triggering event occurs, a harsh email, a rude comment, a sudden disappointment, your nervous system reacts before your logical brain catches up. Heart rate spikes, adrenaline surges, and the impulse to lash out or withdraw takes over. Your first tool is your breath. A slow, deep breath signals the parasympathetic nervous system to calm the body. Try the 4-7-8 technique. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 7. Exhale for even 2 or 3 cycles can lower stress hormones and give your rational mind time to re-enter the conversation. A single breath can prevent a lifetime of regret. Someone cuts you off in traffic. One story says, "That driver disrespected me," triggering anger. Another says, "Maybe they're rushing to an emergency," evoking compassion or neutrality. The event is the same. The meaning differs. Daily practice. When you feel a strong negative emotion, pause and ask, what else could this mean? This doesn't excuse harmful behavior. It simply frees you from a single, often destructive, interpretation. Reframing gives you choices, and choices give you power. Step 4. Create emotional outlets. Regulation doesn't mean bottling everything up. Emotions need healthy release. Without outlets, pressure builds until it explodes. Consider these daily practices. The page can hold what the heart cannot. Movement. Exercise burns stress hormones and transforms restless energy into strength. Creative expression. Music, painting, or even cooking can channel emotions into beauty. Conversation. Sharing with a trusted friend or therapist brings clarity and support. Find at least one outlet that feels natural and nourishing. Make it part of your routine, not an occasional emergency measure. Step 5. Practice emotional micro-habits. Small, consistent actions create lasting emotional balance. Here are a few powerful ones. Gratitude shifts attention from what's wrong to what's right. These micro-habits train your nervous system to stay centered, so regulation becomes second nature rather than a forced effort. When you stay calm, you listen better. When you empathize, you connect deeper. When you respond rather than react, conflicts resolve faster and trust grows stronger. Each interaction becomes an opportunity to practice active listening. Focus fully on the other person's words and emotions. Relationships flourish when emotions are managed with respect and awareness. In the second you receive the same news, pause to breathe, label your feelings, and respond with calm problem solving. The external event is identical. The internal outcome is worlds apart. Over weeks, months, and years, these small choices accumulate into drastically different lives, one marked by chaos, the other by steady growth. Practical daily plan for emotional regulation. Here's a simple framework you can practice every day. Morning centering, 5-10 minutes. Midday awareness, 2 minutes. Quick check-in. What am I feeling right now? Adjust posture and breathing if tension is present. Evening release, 10 minutes. This routine requires less than 20 minutes, yet dramatically improves emotional stability. A story to remember. A young professional once confessed to a mentor that her career stalled because she was too emotional. The mentor replied, "Your emotions aren't the problem. Your relationship with them is." He guided her to journal daily, practice mindful breathing, and reframe negative events. Within a year, her colleagues described her as calm, decisive, and inspiring. The same person, but now the master of her inner weather. A final thought on Chapter 4. Strength is not the absence of feeling. It is the ability to feel deeply without being ruled by the feeling. When you regulate your emotions, you gain freedom. The freedom to think clearly under pressure, to choose compassion over anger, to persist when discouragement whispers that it's easier to quit. This habit amplifies every other habit in this audiobook. Morning mastery becomes steadier, learning becomes deeper, physical vitality becomes easier to maintain, because when you master your inner climate, no external storm can knock you off course. Chapter 5: The Power of Laser-Sharp Focus. Your mind is like a beam of light. When scattered, it illuminates little and achieves little. But when concentrated, it becomes like a laser capable of cutting through obstacles, creating breakthroughs, and producing extraordinary results. In today's world, focus has become one of the rarest and most valuable skills. Distraction surrounds us, endless notifications, constant noise, and a culture that rewards busyness over effectiveness. Most people live in a state of fractured attention, always reacting, never truly directing. This is why the fifth daily habit is the cultivation of laser-sharp focus. The ability to direct your attention on what truly matters is not just a productivity hack, it is the difference between mediocrity and mastery. Why focus is the ultimate superpower. Everything meaningful requires deep focus. Building a business, writing a book, mastering an instrument, strengthening a relationship, none of these can be achieved with half attention. Focus multiplies effort. 1 hour of concentrated work often produces more than 5 hours of distracted activity. Yet many people mistake activity for achievement. They stay busy, but their energy is scattered. Focus is what transforms effort into results. Your life follows your focus. Whatever you consistently direct your attention toward expands. Focus on problems, and they grow larger. Focus on opportunities, and they multiply. Focus on growth, and you transform. Step 1. Eliminate the myth of multitasking. Modern culture celebrates multitasking, but neuroscience reveals it is a myth. The brain cannot truly focus on two demanding tasks simultaneously. Instead, it rapidly switches between them, draining energy and lowering performance. Each switch carries a cognitive cost. Studies show that multitasking can reduce productivity by up to 40%. It also increases mistakes, weakens memory, and heightens stress. Daily practice. Commit to single tasking. When working on something important, give it your full undivided attention. Close other tabs, silence notifications, and immerse yourself in the task until completion or a planned break. Step 2. Identify your most important work. Not all tasks are created equal. Some contribute massively to your goals. Others are distractions disguised as work. Ask yourself daily, if I could only accomplish one thing today, what would make the biggest difference? This question forces clarity. It helps you identify your MITs, most important tasks. Make these your priority before anything else. When you do what truly matters first, you move forward with confidence and prevent the trap of busyness without progress. Here are 3 powerful ones. Time blocking. Allocate specific periods for deep work, free from interruptions. Treat these blocks as sacred appointments. Pomodoro technique. Work in cycles, 25-50 minutes of focused effort, followed by 5-10 minutes of rest. This rhythm maintains intensity without burnout. Environmental design. Remove temptations. Put your phone in another room. Use apps that block distracting websites. Keep your workspace clean and minimal. These rituals train your brain to enter flow state, that magical zone where time disappears and productivity soars. Step 4. Protect your attention like treasure. Your attention is the most valuable currency you possess. Guard it as fiercely as you would your bank account. Yet most people give it away freely to advertisers, apps, and anyone who demands it. Each notification steals a fragment of focus. Each unnecessary meeting drains mental energy. Each scroll through endless feeds robs you of time you'll never get back. Daily discipline. Ask before engaging, does this deserve my attention right now? If not, let it pass. Protecting your focus is not selfish, it is essential for living intentionally. Step 5. Practice mindfulness to strengthen concentration. Your ability to focus is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. One of the best training tools is mindfulness, the practice of bringing your attention fully to the present moment. Start small. Focus on your breath for 2 minutes. noticing each inhale and exhale. Eat a meal without screens, paying attention to every flavor and texture. Walk outside and observe your surroundings with full awareness. These small practices retrain your brain to stay present. Over time, you'll find it easier to sustain deep concentration on any task. The cost of distraction. Imagine writing a book but stopping every 5 minutes to check messages. After a year, the book is still unfinished. Now imagine dedicating 2 uninterrupted hours daily to writing. Within a few months, the book is complete. This is the cost of distraction, not just lost minutes, but lost opportunities, dreams and legacies. Every time you allow your attention to be scattered, you delay the life you could be built. Practical daily plan for focus. Morning clarity. 5 min. Write down your top 3 priorities for the day. Deep work block. 60-90 min. Tackle your MIT before checking emails or messages. Midday checkpoint. 5 min. Review progress and refocus. Evening reflection. 10 min. Journal about what distracted you and how you can improve tomorrow. This structure creates rhythm and accountability, ensuring that focus is not left to chance. The master poured water into a glass until it overflowed, saying, "Your mind is like this, full of noise and clutter. Empty it, and you will see clearly." The student took the lesson to heart. He began eliminating distractions, focusing deeply on his studies, and devoting himself to mastery. Within years, he became renowned not for his busyness, but for the depth of his skill. The story reminds us, clarity comes when we remove what doesn't matter. Focus is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most, deeply and well. A final thought on Chapter 5. Discipline in focus is not just about productivity, it is about dignity. It is the declaration that your time, energy and attention are precious, and you will not waste them on distractions that do not serve your purpose. Every day, practice directing your attention like a beam of light. Point it toward growth, creation, and contribution. Protect it from the noise. Nurture it with rituals. Strengthen it with mindfulness. Because in the end, what you focus on becomes your life. Choose wisely, and your future will shine as brightly as your focus allows. Chapter 6. Discipline and consistency. The backbone of transformation. If motivation is the spark that lights the fire, discipline is the steady fuel that keeps it burning, and consistency, that is the wind beneath the flame pushing it forward day after day, no matter what. You can dream, plan, and even take inspired action, but without discipline and consistency, transformation will always remain unfinished. It is not the grand dramatic gestures that change your life, but the small deliberate acts you repeat until they become part of who you are. Discipline and consistency are the invisible forces that separate those who wish from those who win. If you rely only on motivation, you'll move in bursts and crashes, progressing one week, stalling the next. Discipline is different. It doesn't ask how you feel, it asks what you decide. Discipline shows up when motivation disappears. It is the muscle that gets you out of bed when the alarm rings, the force that keeps you writing when inspiration fades, the strength that helps you say no to short-term pleasure for long-term gain. Consistency is discipline stretched over time. It transforms isolated effort into lasting identity. The compounding effect of small acts. Consider this. If you by just 1% each day, by the end of 1 year you wouldn't be 365% better. You'd be almost 37 times better, thanks to the power of compounding. This is the secret of consistency. Tiny daily actions, often invisible to others, stack up into massive results. Missing one workout doesn't matter, but missing workouts consistently leads to decline. Reading 10 pages a day may feel small, yet over a year it's more than 300-600 pages, dozens of books that reshape your mind. Consistency turns ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes. With clarity, you'll persist. Write down your non-negotiables, the habits you will practice daily no matter what. These should be specific and measurable. For example, I will exercise for 30 minutes daily. I will write 500 words every morning. I will meditate for 10 minutes each night. When you define commitments clearly, you take away the guesswork. You no longer ask, "Should I do this?" You simply act. But willpower is like a battery. It drains with use. Rituals, on the other hand, Conserve energy by automating behavior. If you put on your workout clothes right after waking up, the ritual itself nudges you into exercise. If you always open your journal after dinner, reflection becomes automatic. Think of rituals as grooves in the road. They guide your behavior without requiring constant effort. The more grooves you carve, the smoother your journey. Step 3. Embrace the uncomfortable. Discipline often requires doing what you don't feel like doing. Growth always hides behind discomfort. The workout feels heavy. The book feels hard to write. The meditation feels restless. Yet each time you push through, you strengthen your discipline muscle. Discomfort is not a sign to stop. It is a sign you are on the right path. Comfort keeps you the same. Discomfort builds the new you. Daily practice. At least once a day, deliberately choose the harder but better option. Over time, this rewires your brain to embrace challenge instead of avoiding it. Abide. Step 4. Track your consistency. What gets measured improves. Tracking your habits builds accountability and shows progress even when results aren't yet visible. Use a simple method. Mark an X on your calendar each day you complete your habit. Your job is to never break the chain. Miss a day, restart immediately. Consistency is not perfection, it's persistence. When you look back after weeks of steady marks, you'll realize I am no longer someone trying to build this habit. I am someone who lives this habit. Instead of saying I'm trying to quit smoking, say I'm not a smoker. Instead of I want to write a book, say I am a writer. When your habits align with your identity, consistency becomes natural. You no longer force yourself. You simply live in alignment with who you believe you are. Every small act reinforces that identity. Each time you show up to the gym, you cast a vote for being fit. Each time you read, you cast a vote for being knowledgeable. Each disciplined action is a ballot toward the future self you're building. Overcommitment, trying to do too much and burning out. All or nothing thinking, believing if you can't do it perfectly, it's not worth doing. Defeating these enemies requires awareness. When they appear, call them out and return to action immediately. A daily plan for discipline and consistency. The morning anchor. 5 min. Review your top habit commitments for the day. Accountability check midday. Ask yourself, am I living my commitments? Evening reflection 10 min. Journal about your consistency, wins and slip. Weekly review 20 min. Adjust rituals, celebrate progress and renew commitment. This routine keeps discipline from being random. It becomes structured, reliable and self-reinforcing. For years he watered his bamboo seeds daily, yet nothing seemed to happen. Seasons passed and still no growth. People mocked him, saying he was wasting his time. Then in the 5th year, something extraordinary occurred. The bamboo shot up over 80 feet in just 6 weeks. But here's the truth. The bamboo didn't grow in 6 weeks. It grew in 5 years and 6 weeks. For 5 years it built an unseen root system, strong enough to support its explosive growth. So it is with discipline and consistency. You may not see immediate results, but every day of practice strengthens your roots. Then one day, your growth becomes impossible to ignore. They are the steady drumbeat that carries you forward when excitement fades, when obstacles rise, when progress feels invisible. Each disciplined choice is a declaration. I am building a future worth living. Each consistent action is a vote for transformation. Show up daily, no matter how small the step. Embrace the discomfort, track your progress, and let your identity guide you. For it is not what you do once in a while that shapes your destiny. It is what you do every single day. Chapter 7. Resilience. Bouncing back stronger. Life will test you. That much is certain. There will be setbacks, failures, disappointments, and unexpected storms. But what separates those who collapse from those who rise is not the absence of difficulty, it is the presence of resilience. Resilience is the ability to bend without breaking, to fall yet rise again, to endure challenges and transform them into stepping stones. It is not about avoiding pain, it is about learning to grow through it. The truth is this: you will face challenges that shake you. You will meet moments when giving up feels easier than continuing. But if you develop resilience, you will not only survive those moments, you will thrive because of them. It's not about pretending to be strong or suppressing pain. Resilience is about recovering. It is about acknowledging the setback, processing it, and then using it as fuel to move forward. Think of a rubber band. Its strength is not that it never stretches, it is that it always returns to its form. Likewise, your strength is not in never falling but in always rising. Step 1. Reframe adversity. Resilient people don't see challenges as dead ends. They see them as teachers. Instead of asking, "Why me?" they ask, "What can I learn?" Reframing adversity changes its meaning. Failure becomes feedback. Rejection becomes redirection. Loss becomes the seed of gratitude. Daily practice. When faced with a difficulty, pause and ask, "How might this be serving me? What lesson does this hold?" Over time, your mind becomes trained to see opportunities where others only see obstacles. Step 2. Strengthen your emotional core. Resilience is emotional fitness. Just as your body requires exercise to grow stronger, so does your emotional core. Practices that build this strength include mindfulness, training your attention to stay calm under stress; journaling, processing emotions instead of letting them spiral inside you; breathing exercises, slowing down the nervous system during overwhelm; gratitude rituals, shifting focus from what is lost to what remains. These small habits build your emotional endurance, allowing you to remain centered when life feels chaotic. Step 3. Develop a growth mindset. Resilient individuals believe abilities and situations can be improved. This is the essence of a growth mindset, the conviction that nothing is fixed and setbacks are stepping stones. With a growth mindset, failure is not permanent. It is progress disguised as struggle. You stop labeling yourself as not good enough and start saying, "I'm not there yet." This subtle shift in language changes everything. Instead of breaking under difficulty, you bend and adapt. Step 4. Build support systems. Resilience is not a solo act. Even the strongest need allies, friends, mentors, family, communities, all serve as anchors in the storm. Too often people isolate themselves in hardship, believing they must endure alone. But resilience thrives on connection. A single encouraging word can reignite hope. A mentor's advice can shorten recovery. A community's support can restore courage. Daily practice. Reach out. Share your struggles with someone you trust. Ask for feedback. Offer support to others. Resilience grows when nurtured in relationships. Step 5. Strengthen your body to strengthen your mind. Physical resilience fuels emotional resilience. Exercise reduces stress hormones, boosts mood and increases energy. Proper sleep restores your nervous system. Balanced nutrition stabilizes mood and focus. When your body is neglected, challenges feel heavier. When your body is strong, your mind stands taller. Resilience is holistic. It flows from a foundation of physical, emotional, and mental strength. The bounce-back principle. Every time you recover from difficulty, you expand your capacity. The breakup that shattered you teaches you how to love wiser. The job loss that devastated you builds the courage to pursue new opportunity. The failure that embarrassed you strengthens your humility and determination. Resilience is cumulative. Each comeback prepares you for the next challenge, until you reach a point where obstacles no longer crush you. They carve you. The danger of victimhood. The opposite of resilience is victimhood, the mindset that life is happening to you, not for you. Victimhood drains energy, blinds perspective, and keeps you trapped. Resilient people acknowledge pain, but they refuse to stay powerless. They claim responsibility, not for what happened, but for how they respond, and in that choice they reclaim strength. A daily plan for resilience. Challenge reframe anytime. When difficulty strikes, ask, "What is this teaching me?" Evening gratitude. 10 min. Write 3 things you gained or learned, even from setbacks. Weekly reflection. 20 min. Journal about moments of recovery and how they shaped you. This keeps resilience alive as a daily practice, not just an emergency tool. A story to remember. A blacksmith was once asked how he forged the strongest swords. He replied, "I place the metal in the fire until it glows. Then I strike it hard upon the anvil. I repeat this over and over. Each strike weakens it temporarily, but each strike also strengthens it permanently. The sword is strong because it has endured fire and blows. So it is with you. Life's fire and blows may weaken you in the moment, but if you endure them, they shape you into steel. It's about knowing that no matter how many times life knocks you down, you will always get back up wiser, stronger, more unshakable than before. Remember this truth. The strongest people are not those who never suffered, but those who turned suffering into strength. Each trial you face is shaping you into someone unbreakable. Stand tall in adversity, bend but do not break, fall but rise stronger. That is the essence of resilience. Chapter 8. Gratitude and Positivity. Fuel for the Soul. Imagine waking up each day, not weighed down by what's missing, but energized by what's already present. Imagine walking through challenges with the unshakable belief that life is still working in your favor. That's the power of gratitude and positivity. Gratitude is not just polite thankfulness, it's a deep recognition of value. It shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, from lack to sufficiency. Positivity is not blind optimism, it's the deliberate choice to see possibilities even in difficulties. Together they form a habit that transforms how you experience life. Without gratitude, achievements feel hollow. Without positivity, struggles feel unbearable. But when you cultivate both daily, they become the fuel that nourishes your soul, restores your energy, and propels you forward with resilience and joy. Why gratitude changes everything. Gratitude is a lens. When you wear it, the same world looks different. Problems shrink, opportunities expand, and life feels richer. Science confirms this. Studies show gratitude boosts happiness, lowers stress, improves relationships, and even strengthens the immune system. Grateful people are more optimistic, sleep better, and cope with adversity more effectively. But gratitude's true power is spiritual. It humbles the ego and connects you to something greater than yourself. It reminds you that even in scarcity, there is always something to appreciate. Step 1. The practice of daily gratitude. The habit is simple but profound. Take a few minutes every day to list what you're grateful for. It could be as grand as your health, or as small as the smile of a stranger. Consistency is key. The act itself reshapes your brain. Each time you write or say, "I am grateful for," you train your mind to notice abundance instead of lack. Over weeks and months, gratitude becomes your default perspective. Daily practice. Keep a gratitude journal. Each morning or evening, write down 3 things you're thankful for. Let them be specific, not generic. Instead of "I'm grateful for my family," write "I'm grateful for the laughter I shared with my sister today." If you constantly use negative, complaining language, your mind lives in scarcity. But when you use positive, grateful language, your inner world shifts. Instead of saying, "I have to go to work," try, "I get to go to work and Instead of "This is so hard," try, "This is a chance to grow stronger." Instead of "I never have enough," say, "I'm grateful for what I do have while I work toward more." Step 3. Practice positivity in adversity. Anyone can be positive when life is easy. True mastery is staying positive when life is hard. This doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine. It means choosing to direct your energy toward hope instead of despair. It means asking, "How can I use this?" instead of "Why me?" Positivity is not about denying reality. It's about choosing the most empowering interpretation of reality. Daily practice. When faced with a challenge, pause and identify one potential benefit, lesson, or silver lining. Over time, this rewires your brain to automatically search for the good, even in the bad. Step 4. Spread gratitude and positivity to others. Gratitude grows when shared. Positivity multiplies when given away. Express appreciation openly. Thank the people in your life not just for what they do, but for who they are. Acknowledge others' efforts. Celebrate their wins. Small acts of gratitude ripple outward, creating stronger connections and more joy for everyone. Daily practice. Make it a rule to express at least one sincere thank you every day. Write a note, send a message, or speak it face to face. Gratitude expressed becomes gratitude multiplied. If your mind is constantly fed with negativity, news, gossip, complaints, you'll struggle to maintain gratitude. Guard your inputs as carefully as your diet. Choose uplifting content, inspiring conversations, and environments that fuel growth. Negativity may be unavoidable, but you don't have to consume it endlessly. Daily practice. Set limits on negative media consumption. Replace doom scrolling with reading something uplifting, listening to empowering audiobooks, or spending time in nature. The ripple effect of gratitude. When you live with gratitude and positivity, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you. You become lighter, kinder, and more encouraging. People feel uplifted in your presence. Gratitude and positivity are contagious. One grateful heart can shift the atmosphere of a room. One optimistic perspective can inspire a team. One thankful leader can change an organization's culture. This is why the habit is powerful. Not only does it transform your inner world, it transforms the outer world through you. A daily plan for gratitude and positivity. Evening appreciation. 5 min. Thank someone, either in writing or directly. Weekly detox. 20 min. Review and reduce negative inputs from your environment. This structure keeps gratitude alive as a rhythm, not a random practice. A story to remember. 2 travelers walked through a desert. One complained constantly, "This sun is unbearable. This path is endless. This journey is hopeless." The other simply said, "I am grateful for the shade of this small rock, for the water we still have, and for the chance to walk beside a friend." Both walked the same path, but they experienced different journeys. The first lived in misery. The second lived in abundance. Life is not just what happens to you, it is also how you choose to see it. Gratitude and positivity don't change the desert, but they change the journey through it. They don't deny hardship, but they transform your relationship with it. They don't erase problems, but they expand your ability to endure them with strength and grace. Every day you have a choice: to focus on what's missing, or to celebrate what's present. To dwell in negativity or to rise with positivity. The choice you make shapes not only your mood but your entire life trajectory. So practice gratitude daily. Speak with positivity. Protect your mental diet. Share thankfulness generously. Let your life become a living example of abundance in action, because gratitude is not just something you feel, it's something you live. And positivity is not just something you project, it's something you choose, again and again. Chapter 9. Building strong relationships and meaningful connections. No matter how driven, disciplined, or resilient you are, life is not a solo journey. Human beings are wired for connection. Success, fulfillment, and happiness all thrive in the soil of strong relationships. You can work tirelessly on your habits, your mindset, and your goals, but without healthy, supportive, and meaningful connections, the journey becomes hollow. Think of it this way: every great achievement in history has been a collaboration. Every empire, invention, and breakthrough required people working together, sharing ideas and supporting one another. Even personal victories, health, wealth, growth, are amplified when shared with others. The truth is simple: your network influences your net worth, and your relationships shape your resilience. But it's not about collecting contacts, it's about cultivating connections. Let's dive into how to build relationships that truly matter. Why relationships are the hidden multiplier. Relationships multiply your efforts. A supportive friend can help you through your darkest days. A mentor can accelerate your growth by years. A team can achieve what no individual could. But poor relationships can do the opposite. They can drain energy, stunt growth, and keep you stuck. This is why one of the most critical habits you can cultivate is being intentional with the connections you create and maintain. You become like the people you surround yourself with. Their energy, attitudes, and habits rub off on you. Choose wisely, and you'll elevate. Choose poorly, and you'll stagnate. Hundreds of social media followers or business contacts don't equal deep relationships. What matters is not how many people know your name, but how many will stand beside you when life gets difficult. Instead of spreading yourself thin, invest deeply in a few meaningful connections. Quality relationships require time, effort, and vulnerability. They require listening, caring, and consistency. Daily practice. Focus on nurturing 3-5 key relationships in your life. Reach out regularly. Check in not only when you need something, but also to give encouragement, celebrate wins, and show support. People crave to be heard, to feel understood, to know they matter. When you listen deeply without interrupting, without planning your response, you build trust. Trust is the foundation of every meaningful connection. Daily practice. In every conversation, aim to listen at least 70% of the time. Ask open-ended questions. Reflect back what you've heard. Show genuine interest, not just polite nods. Instead of approaching connections with, "What can I get?" shift to, "What can I give?" This doesn't always mean money. It can be encouragement, knowledge, support, or introductions. When you become a giver, people are naturally drawn to you. The value you provide builds goodwill that eventually returns multiplied. Daily practice. Every day, look for one way to add value to someone else's life. It could be as small as sharing a resource, sending a kind message, or connecting two people who could benefit from each other. Step 4. Surround yourself with growth-oriented people. If you're serious about transforming your life, you cannot afford to spend all your time with people who are stuck in negativity, gossip, or stagnation. Your environment shapes your mindset. Seek out people who inspire you, challenge you, and push you higher. Surround yourself with those who believe in your potential and hold you accountable. At the same time, be willing to let go of toxic or draining relationships, even if it's difficult. Daily practice. Evaluate your circle regularly. Ask yourself, do these people lift me higher or pull me down? Make the hard choices. You don't need to cut people off coldly, but you do need to protect your energy and prioritize growth environment. Step 5. Be authentic and vulnerable. Surface-level connections crumble under pressure. Authenticity and vulnerability are what deepen relationships. Don't try to be perfect. Be real. Share your struggles, not just your successes. Admit your mistake. Let people see the human behind the mask. Vulnerability invites others to do the same, creating bonds rooted in trust and understanding. Daily practice. In one meaningful conversation this week, share something genuine about yourself, your fears, your lessons, or your hope. Watch how it strengthens the bond. Step 6. Celebrate and support others. Relationships thrive not just when you're there in hard times, but when you celebrate others in their victories. Jealousy kills connection. Generosity of spirit strengthens it. Cheer loudly for the people in your circle. Be the first to applaud their success, share their wins, and encourage their next steps. When you make others feel valued, they naturally want to keep you close. Daily practice. Every day, send a message of encouragement or congratulations to someone in your circle. Be intentional about lifting others up. Step 7. Create shared experiences. Bonding happens through shared moments. Experiences forge deeper connections than conversations alone. This could be as simple as having coffee together, as engaging as working on a project side by side, or as memorable as traveling together. When you create memories, you create anchors that strengthen relationships. Daily practice. Make time each week for at least one shared experience with someone who matters to you. Even a short walk, a workout session, or a meal can build lasting connection. They're built through consistent actions over time. Checking in, showing up, and staying present, especially when it's inconvenient, are what deepen bonds. Daily practice. Build rituals into your relationships. A weekly call with a friend, a monthly dinner with family, a consistent mentoring session. These rhythms prevent drift and keep relationships alive. The student, ambitious and impatient, ignored the advice and pursued success in isolation. He achieved wealth and recognition, but he was lonely. When setbacks came, there was no one to lean on. Years later, he realized the truth of his mentor's word. He began investing in relationships, not just for business, but for life. Over time, he discovered that true wealth is not measured in money, but in meaningful connections. The lesson is timeless. Success without relationships is empty, but success with strong connections is deeply fulfilling. A daily plan for building connection. Add value. 5 min. Share a resource, advice, or opportunity with someone. Evaluate your circle weekly. Reflect on whether your relationships are helping you grow. Relationships are not just nice to have. They are the foundation of fulfillment, growth, and resilience. Each day, make time for gratitude, generosity, listening, and authenticity in your relationships. Protect your energy. Seek out growth-minded people and celebrate the ones you love, because in the end, no one remembers how many hours you worked or how many possessions you owned. What they remember, and what gives life its deepest meaning, are the connections you built, the love you shared, and the lives you touched. Strong relationships don't just support your journey, they are the journey. Chapter 10. Reflection and Self-Awareness. The habit that sustains growth. We have walked through 9 powerful daily habits that can transform your life, from discipline and focus to health, gratitude, and relationships. Each chapter has given you a tool to build a stronger, more intentional version of yourself. But there is one habit that ties them all together, one practice that ensures the others don't fade away: reflection and self-awareness. Without reflection, even the best habits eventually lose their power. Without self-awareness, growth turns into autopilot, where you go through the motions without truly evolving. Reflection is how you learn from the past, and self-awareness is how you stay aligned with your present. Together they ensure that your future is not random but intentional. This final chapter is about cultivating a daily practice of looking inward, asking hard questions, and aligning your actions with your deeper values. It's about turning your life into a conscious journey, rather than an unconscious routine. Why reflection matters. Reflection is the pause that gives meaning to motion. Imagine running fast but never checking the map. You could be sprinting in the wrong direction. That's what life feels like without reflection. You may be busy, disciplined, and productive, but are you truly moving toward what matters? Daily reflection creates clarity. It allows you to measure progress, identify mistakes, celebrate wins, and make adjustments. It helps you step back from the noise and see the bigger picture. Self-awareness, on the other hand, keeps you honest. It is the courage to face your blind spots, to recognize where you're falling short, and to see yourself as you truly are, not as you wish to be. Growth without self-awareness is fragile, but growth rooted in self-awareness is unshakable. Step 1. Build a daily reflection ritual. Reflection doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as taking 10 minutes at the end of each day to ask, what did I do well today? What could I improve tomorrow? Did I live in alignment with my values? Writing down the answers creates a mirror for your life. Over time, patterns emerge, habits that help you grow, and habits that hold you back. Daily practice. Keep a reflection journal. Every evening, write 3 bullet points under the questions above. Don't overthink, just write honestly. This small act builds self-awareness like compound interest. Shallow questions create shallow lives. Deep questions lead to deep transformation. Instead of, how do I look to others? Ask, who am I becoming inside? Questions redirect your focus. They uncover blind spots. They guide you back when you drift. Make powerful questions part of your reflection practice. Step 3. Use self-awareness to break patterns. Self-awareness means recognizing your triggers, your weaknesses, and your defaults. It means seeing the cycles that keep repeating in your life and having the courage to break them. For example, you may notice that every time you're stressed, you procrastinate, or that when you feel insecure, you avoid conversations. Reflection exposes these patterns. Self-awareness allows you to replace them with healthier responses. Daily practice. When you notice a recurring struggle, pause and name it. Say to yourself, I see this pattern. Naming it gives you power over it. Step 4. Celebrate progress, not just perfection. Reflection is not only about pointing out mistakes, it's about celebrating progress. Too often we focus only on how far we have to go, forgetting how far we've already come. Gratitude ties into reflection here. Each day, acknowledge one thing you did better today than yesterday. Small victories fuel motivation. Perfection is impossible, but progress is always within reach. Daily practice. End your reflection journal with one sentence beginning, today, I'm proud that. Let this remind you that growth is happening daily. Step 5. Align reflection with vision. Reflection without vision can become rumination. You don't want to just replay mistakes. You want to align your actions with where you're going. That's why it's important to regularly revisit your long-term goals and ask, am I still moving in the direction of my vision? If not, what adjustments do I need to make? Self-awareness plus vision creates momentum. It keeps your habits meaningful and your daily actions purposeful. This could be through meditation, prayer, or simply sitting quietly for 10 minutes without distractions. In the silence, answers emerge. In the stillness, clarity arrives. Daily practice. Carve out at least 5 minutes of silent reflection. No phone, no distraction, just you and your thoughts. This small habit deepens awareness more than anything else. This story to remember. There was once a warrior who trained harder than anyone in his village. He practiced his swordsmanship daily, ran miles each morning, and studied strategy each night. Yet in battle he often lost, not because he lacked skill, but because he lacked awareness. He never paused to reflect on his mistakes, never analyzed his defeats. He repeated the same errors faster and harder each time. One day, a wise elder said to him, "The sharpest blade is useless in the hands of a blind warrior. Stop swinging, start seeing." The warrior began to reflect after every practice, asking himself what he had done well and what needed correction. Slowly, his battles shifted. His awareness grew sharper than his sword and his victories multiplied. The lesson: speed and strength are meaningless without reflection. Awareness transforms effort into mastery. A daily plan for reflection and self-awareness. Weekly review 30 min. Reflect on progress toward long-term goals. Adjust if needed. Silent pause 5 min daily. Sit quietly and listen inward. It is the beginning, because reflection and self-awareness ensure that the habits we've explored, discipline, focus, health, gratitude, relationships and more, stay alive for the rest of your life. Think of your journey as a spiral, not a straight line. Every day you circle back through these habits, but each time at a higher level of awareness. You discipline yourself, reflect, grow. You cultivate gratitude, reflect, grow. You build relationships, reflect. Reflection is the thread that binds the spiral upward, keeping you rising rather than running in circles. So let me leave you with this. Every morning, you are given a new page. Every evening, you are given the chance to reflect on how you filled it. Over time, those pages become your story. Write it with intention, reflect with honesty, live with awareness. That is how transformation lasts. That is how change becomes permanent. That is how you build not just a better day, but a better life. A closing word for you. If you've made it this far, it means you are serious about growth. You are not just listening. You are seeking change. And that means you already have the most important ingredient, the willingness to evolve. Now it's time to act. Don't just hear these habits. Practice them. Don't just understand them. Live them. Transformation doesn't happen by knowledge alone, but by consistent, daily application. So tomorrow morning when you wake up, remember this journey. Choose one habit to focus on. Build momentum. Let it compound. Over weeks, months and years, your life will become unrecognizable. And when you look back, you'll realize something powerful. The habits weren't just tools. They were steps toward becoming the strongest, clearest, most resilient version of yourself. Thank you for walking this journey with me. If you found value in this audiobook, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs these words. Let's spread the power of daily habits to transform lives everywhere. This is not goodbye. It's the start of your unstoppable transformation.